Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. And now, live, it's time!
This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of another purge of the BS, sanctioned by the First Amendment. Frustration levels 0 to 100 have been authorized for use during this purge. All weapons are restricted. Government officials have not been granted immunity from the purge of the BS and shall undoubtedly receive the smoke. Commencing at the sound of the gong, any and all BS, especially unnecessary goofiness, will be purged without consequence. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be available, but they will be busy because they too will be watching the purge of the BS. Blessed be those who have already been victims of some BS. May God be with you all.
We can enter any home we want, and we will want. His warnings are will on this fine night. Don't force us to hurt you. Please just let us purge. To the standard.
You better find someplace else to go.
I got a wicked sweet tooth tonight. And I want my candy back.
I believe we are here with another purge of the BS. Let's go. Let's go. That sounds crazy. That sound effect is crazy. Nonetheless, special shouts to everybody that jumped into the chat early. I know they kicked at us a little bit quick today, but no worries, I'll stay up. You'll be able to come back. But I want to give a shout to all the people that have been helping the channel grow recently. Everybody that hyped the videos, everybody that shows up for the lives, everybody that sends the super chat. You are all the MVPs, and I just want to make sure that I give you an early applause because you're worth it. Because you're worth it, right? Shouts to Purple Groovy. Special shouts to Purple Groovy. First in the chat for this evening. I don't have a special gift for you, but the notoriety should be enough. It should be amazing to be known as the first person to chat in the Purge on a Tuesday night. So we got a lot to cover today. I just got to get right to it. Because I know y'all don't have a lot of time because most people, like myself, got shit to do. Okay? So tonight's episode is called Strait Jacking, okay? Straight jacking, and there's a couple of different meanings in this whole straight jacking thing. You could take it to mean straight jacket, like we're going to talk about people being crazy, or you could talk about straight jacking, like people stealing things or taking over places. But we're going to cover all of those in the same episode. But the episode title is Straight Jacking. So tonight we're going to purge the BS. That's kind of like behind what I call the epidemic of entitlement. Like, people just too entitled, and we can't seem to stop their mentality. And I guess the problem is the entitlement itself. So we're going to go through that, but we're going to cover a couple of things first. I'm going to have a quick health kind of a thing to go with some of our earlier topics, but we got a lot of topics to cover tonight. So I want to make sure that you guys are ready. I need a number one in the chat if you are ready to purge tonight's available BS. Because I'm ready. I just need to make sure the chat is ready because I don't need y'all to be surprised at what I got to say out in here. Shouts to Al Bond in the chat as well. Thank you for stopping in nice and early. Because I'm going to go through this stuff fast. I got like 8, 9 different joints to go through. I don't have time to spend on too much time to spend on just one thing. Because we got a lot to cover. There's so much bullshit, and we have to purge it. So that's why we can't be on one thing on this channel. It doesn't suit the brand. You see what I'm saying? So nonetheless, let's get into this early piece. This is a pretty simple one, but I just thought you guys should know. Okay? For anybody that's got the flu or cold, there has been a recent recall on cough drops. Now, okay, before I proceed into it, just like I said, I don't use the cough drops myself. I'm just letting y'all know if you use them that you need to be cautious. I'm not recommending that you buy cough drops or cough medicine or anything that you can cook up something with in your home, okay? I don't want YouTube thinking that's what I'm trying to do, okay? Let's just make sure they understand this. But let's get to the story over here, okay? All right, this one's easy. This one is easy. How did that happen? What's going on here? The whole deck. All right. Give me a second here, guys. Y'all see the story over here. I can't see my vertical feed like I normally can. We'll do. All right. So nonetheless, cough drops got recalled due to some type of safety concern at the warehouse. Now, I'm not going to get too deep into this, but it's a Chinese company. They had several different cough drop brands that they owned. And the name of the company is Xiamen Kang Zhongwang Biotechnology Company Limited, located in Xiamen, China. I guess that was Xiamen, China. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm not checking. Don't expect much from me on that. But the point is, it was a biotechnology company. So what? You got to ask your real question, because I'm not going to go too far into who the company was, but I will at least show you, if you buy anything from Discount Drug Mart, Food Market, MGC Health, who else? QC Quality. See, I don't know a lot of these brand names. QC Quality, though, I think I've seen at Dollar General, though, so that might be one that's. But nonetheless, these are the ones. So if you're not in the market for cough drops right now, don't buy them. And if you're buying cough drops and things like that, for other nefarious purposes, you'll want to stay away from these as well because you don't want to hurt nobody. But I just keep asking the question. It was simple, which is, what was at the cough drop factory that somehow like poisoned the cough drops? Like what happened? Did somebody fall in a vat and they like, yeah, we can't sell that batch? Like, what starts the rift at the cough drop factory? And I never really saw that in this article. And the FDA did not specify how many cough drops were under the recalls, probably because it's thousands and thousands of them, because you think each bag's got a bunch in there. But they never really said anything other than this piece that I wanted you to see, which is, according to the report by the FDA, the recall was started following the FDA's recommendation based on observations noted in August 2025 inspection. So in August was when they told them about this and said, hey guys, you got a problem. Just 3 days ago was when they issued the actual recall for stuff that was already on the shelves. So what are we talking? 7 months? 6-7 months that they waited before they actually recalled the product that they knew had a problem? Why did they do that? You know why they did that? Because they wanted you to buy the shit. They wanted to make as much money off of it as they could. And then a few reports came back. A couple people passed out off the cough drops. And now they have to say, okay, let's take them off the shelf. And they got them off the shelf. But I just want you to understand that it took them 7 months, 7 months after knowing there was already a problem, before they did anything about it to try to help us as the regular consumer that didn't know any better. And you already know what I think that is. I think that is some bullshit. That's some bullshit. Some bullshit. Can't even safely take a cough drop. Can't do it. So, speaking of safety issues, oh, and before we move into the next piece here, make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification thing. You know, all of the regular YouTube things to do. I mean, every content creator says it. I don't know why we have to remind people, but it seems like you forget. If nobody tells you to, you're just watching the show and forget that you also have something to do as well. So just make sure that you go ahead and like, subscribe, share the video, do all of those kinds of things, okay? So our second topic, Purge, I don't know how this one came to me, but the caption says smoking is dangerous. But I don't think that's exactly what the premise is. It looks like somebody smoked somewhere they weren't supposed to. So I guess this does make the argument that smoking is dangerous. So let's see what this one's about. Just bear with me here. What do we have? Okay, smoking is dangerous. Gotcha. Is it?
This minivan exploded on a busy Fairfax County road this morning. Investigators believe a propane tank in the van had a small leak, and when the driver went to light a cigarette, the van burst into flames. The woman inside was rushed to the hospital. Northern Virginia Bureau reporter Drew Wilder has reaction from neighbors who saw the van and say they can't believe what happened.
Police say a woman went to light a cigarette this morning, not realizing she was practically igniting a bomb. The entire roof was blasted off and landed in the middle of the road. The windows were blown out, door panels devastated, separated into pieces. Julian Hart can't believe it.
How did she live through that?
I am in awe that nobody was killed.
Yo!
Julian lives across the street near the intersection of Lee Chapel Road and Old Keene Mill Road. He said he heard the explosion at about 7:30 this morning, and it sounded like a sonic boom.
It shook the townhouses. Pictures fell off the wall, stuff broke.
Fairfax County police say a woman was driving this Chrysler minivan this morning. There was a propane tank inside with an apparent leak that she didn't know about. Investigators believe with temperatures in the 30s this morning, she probably had the windows rolled up, so a leak would have filled the car up with gas. Police believe that she went to light a cigarette. The car blew.
Yo, I don't want to laugh, but if you're a cigarette smoker and this happens to you, you gotta watch the signs. You gotta watch the signs, because maybe God's telling you that you shouldn't be smoking. And like you survived that, right? You survived the propane tank explosion. You go back to smoking, and then 10 years later you like get lung cancer or something like that. And you're gonna feel bad because you were obviously informed that smoking was bad for you because you almost blew yourself up. Now, I don't appreciate them making excuses for this lady. Okay? Maybe it's because it's a woman. That's possible. I think if it was a guy, they would be a lot more critical of a dude. They'd be like, what was he thinking? They'd be on some shit like that. They're not really on all of that. They're like, shit, there was a leak and she didn't know about it and da-da-da-da-da. Did she know there was a propane tank in the car? You see what I'm saying? Did she know there was a propane tank in the car? Yes. Meaning she knew there was a propane tank in the car. So, leak or not, because that's its own thing. She must have had the windows up. Like, they gave her every excuse for why she blew herself up. I don't see them doing it for a guy. I'm just going to say it. If there was a guy, they'd be like, yeah, dumbass, why would he do that? Who raised you? So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, they're being real nice to her. I'll let them finish, but I don't like how they spun this. I smelled that bullshit right there. I said, hold on a second now. Y'all being real nice about somebody doing some goofy shit. It's not like the propane tank bounced onto the highway and exploded on them and they just happened to be lighting a cigarette at the same time. It was already in the car. They put it in there. They put it in the car. That's like if you have a gasoline tank and you put the gas in the car up front with you on the floor right by the driver's side and you light a cigarette right there in your lap and the fumes from the gas, that's on you. That you can't blame the gas. They tried to blame the propane tank, or the propane tank manufacturer might get a bad review because somebody thinks their tanks are leaking. So I don't like how they covered this. I smelled that.
Alan Caramella ran out to see what happened. Pieces of the car were blown all over his yard.
Okay. There was a piece of door right here. You know, big piece of the door.
From the van?
Yes, right here.
There's the door, easily 100 feet away from the van. Pieces of glass were everywhere, too. Sitting on the curb in front of his house, he says, was the driver.
A woman was comforting her. You know, she was just shaking uncontrollably. And she had burns on her arms. You know, it was like red, like a deep sunburn.
Alan says the woman walked herself to the ambulance when it arrived. Police say her injuries are not life-threatening and say that while the explosion appears accidental...
First of all, if you walk away from this, look, you better be in church on Sunday. That's all I'm going to say. That car exploded, obviously, into bits and pieces. The doors aren't even correctly lined up with the car no more. It didn't just blow the doors open. It blew them actually off the vehicle. And she got up, walked away, sat down, cried about it. Ambulance came. She walked herself to the ambulance. I feel like this was karma for this lady. I think that, you know, we're covering it as a news story, but she had her own internal battle going on with smoking. Okay? And now, this thing blowing up is probably going to keep her from smoking ever again. Just being honest.
They have assigned a major crimes detective to the case.
The fact that that driver lived, she should go play the lottery today, or she's hit the lottery already by not being killed.
Yeah, that's what I was saying,
my guy.
Look
at that vehicle.
Reporting in...
All right, so that last little piece there that they threw in, they said there's a major crimes investigation going on. Okay, start with that. Secondarily, they didn't show a picture of the lady. They didn't show like a mugshot or Well, you know, she didn't get arrested. So that's why they didn't show a mugshot. So they didn't arrest her, but they do have an investigation going on for major crimes. Meaning, there's a good possibility this lady might have had a different plan with that thing. And she just happened to light herself on fire. Didn't that happen to somebody recently? In Vegas? Or did they purposely set themselves on fire, or did they just light a cigarette? I feel like they lit a cigarette and they had a bunch of gasoline in there and all that. They had a different plan. They weren't going to blow some shit up, but it just wasn't supposed to happen when it did, because they lit up a cigarette and they had fireworks going on. It was crazy. But anyway, the main thing I want y'all to hear is the spin on this story. This lady thought that physics and the rules of engagement, the rules of life, didn't necessarily pertain to her. She knew there was propane in the car because she put the propane in the car, but still proceeded to light a damn cigarette while she was driving and blew up the car in the middle of the street. So I believe that a lesson was learned, a lesson needed to be taught, and a lesson was learned, and I'm not upset at all. I believe that everyone survived, so that's a good thing, and and that lady probably will never smoke a cigarette again. All right? That's all I'm saying. You got to see the good. You got to see the good in it. The good in it is she didn't die. You know, that was a Chrysler Pacifica anyway. It's a piece of shit. So she might get a new one. I mean, I don't think insurance covers blowing yourself up in the car. I never saw that in any of my policies myself, but there may be a clause in there for, you know, doing goofy shit somewhere in the bottom. Like if you happen to do some goofy shit, we'll cover it. I think that's what the whole, what is that? The Allstate? Is that Allstate? I don't know if it's Allstate, but they got the commercial with the guy that plays Mayhem. And it's like, you could be paying for this yourself if you don't have what we need or what we got. That commercial, that guy. But I don't know. I feel good about this. Like, I'm glad she survived, and, you know, I feel like a lesson was learned, and she might progress in life, and she might have a testimony to go tell people, like, don't smoke. You know what I'm saying? She'll be one of them people that shows up at the assemblies when you're in middle school and, like, gives you the dangers of smoking. And this will be a danger that most people don't think about. Like, and if you happen to drive with a propane tank, you might blow yourself up. So, anyway, let's continue this. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know it's an interesting purge here, because this, like I said, this is an entitlement, but this is a different type of entitlement. This is like, I'm entitled to not care about things that are flammable. I'm entitled to not care about combustion. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy to think that you're above the laws of combustion and flammable things. I won't catch on fire because I'm me, and things don't catch on fire around me because I'm cold like that. Like, some just the type of thinking. It's ridiculous. Anyway, what we got here? Oh, okay. We got some more idiot stuff going on. So apparently, we're doing this today. We are doing this today. Special shouts to everybody that's in the chat. Shouts to Purple Groovy in there, IMZ, Al Bond, everybody in the chat. Anybody that's new to the channel, make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe, and jump into the chat. Let us know where you're from. Before we move into our next segment, don't forget, if you like to talk and you want to get paid to do it, don't forget to check out Babel Audio. We have our own affiliate link in the description. Go ahead and check it out. I think they give you like a $30 sign-on bonus or something like that. But you literally get paid to talk to random people. It's kind of wild. So check that out. But nonetheless, this next situation, speaking of talking to random people, there was a gentleman who is I can't call him a Karen because he's Indian. So he's like a Karen. You know what I'm saying? Karen. But that's what he is. And he apparently approaches this dude in his own neighborhood about walking there. Profile much? Okay. Well, let's see what we got here. Because this could be some bullshit. But let's see what the bullshit is on this one. All right? Let's see what we got. See what they have for you available. Hold on.
House, and I have this man asking me, do my own neighborhood where I live at, working in my neighborhood by my house, and I have this man asking me, do I live here?
Yes.
And what's your name?
Dude,
I'm going to start a civil lawsuit right now. That's what I'm gonna do.
absolutely. You got to do it, man. But I want
What's
to
your name, man? Because I'm walking in the neighborhood where I live at, and I'm getting harassed.
No, wait. He's unnecessarily playing us.
But we took my copper to the class.
Yes. Bring my phone. I don't have my phone. Get my phone.
Come with me and get the phone.
I will. Get my phone. Because this guy will escape otherwise. Get my phone.
Hold on. Did he say this guy will escape? Escape. Where do you think you are, sir? This guy will escape anyway. This is apparently his wife that comes out. And she seems like she's trying to be sensible because she's trying to trick him into going in the house. By saying, hey, come with me and you can get your phone. Because the phone's in the house. So come with me. She's trying to get him in the house. You know, she's from a different culture. So she can't just tell him, get your ass in the house. She can't say it like that. It'd be disrespectful. And he looks like the type of guy that might fight. Okay? He looks like it. So anyway, she's trying. I'll give her a little bit of props for at least trying to calm it down. This lady right here. Thank you, Miss Lady Ma'am, for at least trying.
Yes. Bring my phone. I don't have my phone. Get my phone.
Come with me and get the phone.
I will. Get my phone. Because this guy will escape otherwise. Get my phone. Get my phone.
Come with me.
Yes. Get my phone now. Please.
You see this man right here?
Call the cop.
I'm going to keep him a distance back. He's steady walking up on me like this. Y'all see this?
Yep. I know that this is not your house.
This is not my house, but I live in this neighborhood. You don't got it. Listen,
You don't live in this neighborhood.
You don't know where I live at, sir. You can't not tell me where I live at, and I'm not going to pull out my ID and show you where I live at. I know you live right here, and I live in this neighborhood. You have a blessed day, sir.
No, you
have a blessed day, sir.
I'm calling the cops.
You have a blessed day, sir.
Here, boy.
You have.
Hold on, he called him boy. He said, you don't live here, boy. Do y'all hear this guy? Like, how you using boy? Like a southern, like, you know, redneck racist. You're definitely not those guys, or at least I didn't think you were. This is actually very annoying because the truth is, I don't know if the guy actually lives there. So I will give you that. I'll extend that olive branch because I'm not 100% sure that the guy lives there. He could just be acting like he lives there, and this guy actually is right, and he don't live there, and he's tripping because he's around there. I don't know the neighborhood. I don't know what's going on. But at this point, unless he was doing something suspicious, like breaking into somebody's car or something like that, just walking through a neighborhood really shouldn't be a big deal. If it's gated off, then anybody walking around should be allowed to walk around. And if it's not gated off, then anybody walking around should be allowed to walk around. Do you understand what I'm saying? Anybody walking around should be allowed to walk around unless they're walking on private property, okay? Or they're doing some nefarious shit. Seems pretty simple. Stay out of people's business. Mind your business. Why are you over there with this guy? You don't even know this guy. Anyway.
Have a blessed day, sir.
You wait here.
You have a blessed day.
You wait here. I'm calling the cop. Wait here. If you live in this neighborhood, wait.
Yo.
If you live in this neighborhood, wait.
Don't touch. Yo,
Whoa.
who the fuck is you talking to like that? Don't raise your voice at me like that, boy.
Wait here.
I'm a grown-ass man. What is you doing?
This is a protected neighborhood, and you're not supposed to be in here.
Yo, what's your
This is
name,
a
yo? He's steady
productive
walking up on
neighborhood.
me, yo. He's steady walking up on me.
Get my phone.
He's still trying to get his phone. His
I'm
wife
calling
is
the
trying to
cops
get his
right
ass in the house.
Please do. Now.
Don't walk up on me no more, bro.
Please do.
Yo. Don't walk up on me no more.
Yeah.
Well, your ass going to jail, boss.
Oh, yeah. I want to see.
I want to see who goes to jail tonight. In my own neighborhood where I live
All right.
at.
Let's unpack this very briefly. Let's make sure we bring this gentleman up full mass here. Where is he at? There we go. All right. So this is Karen, you know. I don't know what to call this guy because he's not a regular cup of tea Karen. But he does seem to be the normal nosy neighbor type. He's out there, you know. He was probably looking out the bay window. Who is that? And then the wife was like, don't worry about it. He just couldn't let the shit go. So he goes outside. She didn't want to go outside, so she stayed inside first. Then she hears him outside talking. She comes outside. He starts talking about get the phone. She's trying to get him to come in the house to get the phone, which he should have done. Because like it is said in the chat, he's fortunate he didn't get one of them wild out young dudes. Because they would have punched you in the face. You keep walking up on them like that. You're invading personal space. And one of the best ways to deal with people who invade personal space is to punch them in the face. Unfortunately. It's not that, hey, we don't want to do it. It's just what's necessary. It helps with the lesson learning in that situation. So this man is actually lucky he didn't get his ass whooped. And the unfortunate problem and why we need to purge the BS is, I know it's hard to hear, but because he didn't get his ass whooped, there's a good chance he's going to do this again. There's a good chance he's going to continue to harass people and be all up in the face of folk he don't recognize, and until the day comes that somebody punches him in the face. So what we want, okay? What we want is for this man to learn his lessons early so he doesn't bother as many people with the bullshit before he learns this lesson. So whomever runs into him next, don't be like the guy who filmed this video. Handle business. Purge that bullshit. I promise you, when he came up on him and he touched him, hey, officer, I was fearing for my life. It's very simple. It's very simple. Alibi, check. But next time, punch this guy in the face. And no, I'm not advocating for violence. I'm advocating for self-defense. And that person had every right to defend themselves against this tyrant that decided to walk outside in a half button-up bacon collar polo shirt. But I digress, because that's some bullshit. Oh, I know they mad now. I know they mad now. I shouldn't have said, I mean, if that's your folks, that's your folks. But I know they mad now. So I'm going to keep it going because I don't have time for that shit anyway. I know they're going to like this one. I know they're going to like this one because this is black people messing up. And the algorithm loves nothing more than black people messing up stories. Okay? I don't personally. I cover whatever needs to be covered. I cover the bullshit. So since the bullshit has no color, you never really know what you're going to get. But in this particular story, you definitely are going to, they're going to like this. Oh, they're going to like this. So some of you know that T.I. has a son named King Harris. And King Harris recently got in some trouble. Yep, King Harris got in some trouble, and he got himself arrested in Gwinnett County. I think that's in Georgia. So King Harris definitely gets the tuba. Yeah. So let's take a look at the story. Y'all can let me know what you think. But celebrity kids crashing out, kind of normal these days. But he got in trouble. So let's see what we got.
King Harris, the son of T.I. and Tiny Harris, is a free man for now after bonding out of the Gwinnett County jail following his arrest Sunday.
Yo, he looked like somebody's auntie. in that picture. He looks just like somebody auntie right now. Go get your auntie, the one that kissed you that has the mustache, but you didn't like the mustache, but you dealt with it because it was kind of short. That's who he looks like.
On speeding and drug charges.
Good day's Caitlin Pratt is live outside the facility and joins us now with the latest on this. Caitlin.
Good morning to you both, and more so than the charges in this particular case, it was what the 21-year-old was wearing at the time of his arrest that is gaining a whole lot of attention, something that the accused even addressed.
Gotta catch 'em all. But this time, it was police catching the Pikachu. Rapper King Harris, the son of T.I. and Tiny Harris, arrested early Sunday morning in Gwinnett.
Why they gotta zoom so far into his face like that? They know what the hell they doing. They know he looks horrible in this shot. And they just want to make him look horrible. He was out looking like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what happened, I don't believe he was beat up by the police. He just came out like this and then got himself in trouble. And he had drugs on him and was speeding and probably was drinking. And so it's not looking good. Not so far. Not so far. I'm just saying,
County following a traffic stop. Gwinnett County jail record showing the 21-year-old is charged with speeding, obstruction of a police officer, and drug possession. Harris's choice of clothing, a Pikachu onesie, drawing significant attention. He documented the traffic stop on Instagram with a selfie. According to TMZ, officers say Harris was driving 60 miles per hour in a 45 mile per hour zone. And when they pulled him over, they say they spotted a firearm. Harris reportedly refused to get out of the car. Police say they then found a THC vape pen on him. On Instagram, Harris posted video in the outfit comparing police to Team Rocket, writing in part that he was living a good Pikachu life in Tokyo and then came back to ATL, and Team Rocket caught me with a master ball and threw me in jail all night. This is not the first time Harris has faced legal trouble.
Yo, he looks horrible. I'm trying, and it's somebody's child, but they just, the photos they keep putting up of this guy. I'm sorry, man. I'm composing myself. Just bear with me. I'm sorry. I need some water, man. I wasn't ready for this picture right here. It was this one that y'all see. This is vertical. The vertical people see it up there. I'm going to tell you right now. He looks like he's going to get in trouble. Like, he has the look like and it's going to be some entitlement shit trouble. Like, silver spoon in your mouth, don't know how to do the right thing out there because mommy and daddy keep bailing you out type of trouble. He has the look. He has the look. And I don't, I'm going to say this. He took all of the worst features from each of his parents. I'm sure, hey, he's beautiful in God's eyes, okay? Everybody's beautiful in God's eyes. Lord. Isn't he short, too? Like, it's just that it's a rough life. Rough life for him.
Trouble in Georgia. Back in 2024, he was accused of nearly hitting a police officer at a Dunwoody gas station, was taken into custody after an officer smelled marijuana in the car. He was also previously transferred to Pickens County on a bench warrant for failing to appear related to a 2022 traffic stop involving speeding and DUI charges that were later dropped.
And jail records show that the rapper has been released from lockup here. As for a court date on these charges, unclear at this time when that will happen. We'll keep you up.
All right, first of all, I don't appreciate them just throwing the word rapper out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't really call him that. I mean, he raps. He raps. I know he does. And I've seen, you know what? He had at least one or two songs that I was not upset with. But I will say this. Where's that picture at? I gotta find, there it is. Let me just say this, and then I'm gonna go past this. I don't feel sorry for celebrity children. When they do dumb shit, they should get caught, just like the rest of us. The problem is, a lot of them don't get the kind of punishment that the rest of us do. And that's the issue. They do get caught. They get pulled over, they speeding in their new Benz or whatever they got. They get pulled over like the rest of us. They got drug possession. He had drug possession and a seatbelt violation. Like, damn, they threw the seatbelt violation on at the end there too. Like, and by the way, you don't even have your seatbelt on. And they threw that in there. So that's kind of messed up. So they threw the book at him technically. But at the end of the day, nothing's going to happen to this guy. Like, he's not going to jail for that shit. So maybe he'll learn his lesson. Maybe the inconvenience of having a couple of points put on your license, maybe his insurance goes up a little bit. I don't know. But what I'm saying is the penalty for this guy is not going to be extreme enough that a lesson will be learned. Obviously, because he already had this happen before, a couple years ago, according to them. So guess what? This guy, I'm not going to call him a lost cause. I'm just saying, expect him to be on some goofy shit. When you see him around, he's still young. When he gets older, he'll probably slow down a little bit. But he's one of them wild out celebrity kids. So even though he could just have somebody drive his ass around, nope, he doesn't want to do that. He wants to go jump in the car and drive himself. Now, the question is, why are they searching the whole car like they do? Right? If he only had a THC vape pen in there, what did it smell like in it? Did it smell like weed or something in there? And it's that they just only found a vape pen? I'm trying to figure out why they searched the car. And they didn't have much in there about any charges pertaining to particular drugs. But they did say there was a possession, but they said possession of paraphernalia. And then they called the THC. So basically they called the vape paraphernalia, and possession of drugs was THC in the vape. Man, that sounds like some goofy shit. They just were mad. He probably had an attitude. He was probably acting like a spoiled kid when they pulled him over. Do you know who my dad is? Do you know who my dad is? And he probably started that shit, and they just had to give him something. But he's already bonded out. He's already back home. He's already living the celebrity life. So I don't feel bad for T.I.'s son at all. Hopefully he'll do something with this like the last dude that went to jail. They end up coming up with content based on this jail thing. So maybe he'll write a song about how he was racially profiled, even though his skin is whiter than most white people. But maybe he'll write us some content about it. But other than that, this is some bullshit. All right. King Harris. He just really named his son King Harris. And he has not been acting very kingly over the last few years. And I'm not talking about, nobody's children. I'm just talking about that gentleman has not been acting very kingly over the years. Okay? You can take it how you feel. I'm not saying he's a bad person. I'm just saying he's done some goofy shit. And every time you see him, it's because he did something goofy. You don't see him because he did something good. And until you start seeing him doing something good, he's just going to be known for being goofy. So, I hate to say it, but that's what it is. So if T.I. ever sees this episode, T.I., I'm not talking about your kid in the standard negative way, because I don't blame your kid. I blame his parents. We'll start with that. But what I am saying is you should know just as well as anybody else that getting in trouble and shit like that with that goofy stuff it's not a good look. Even if he's rich and doesn't have to worry about a job, he doesn't have to worry about background checks and shit like that the rest of us have to worry about. He still shouldn't be out there just wilding out. He's got the resources to not do that. He's got the resources to have somebody drive him wherever he got to go. So why are you driving? You see what I'm saying? You just make bad choices. That's your problem. You're a poor decision maker. Anyway, let's keep it moving here. Our next purge here, this one was really interesting to me because I didn't know. But in interesting twist on the Me Too kind of situation. Did you guys know that Katy Perry has been accused of SA? Yes. Okay. We're gonna cover this. I gotta cover this because I didn't believe it. Let's see, does this work? All right, so apparently this is Ruby Rose. Let me see. Yeah, we can bring it up. This is Ruby Rose. This is Katy Perry. Ruby Rose has accused Katy Perry of SA 20 years ago at a nightclub. Now, I don't know exactly what that means, but a couple of things are jumping out at me here. First of all, Katy Perry she's not the prettiest woman in the world, but I wouldn't call her ugly, right? Neither is Ruby Rose. Some people would pay for this. Is all I'm going to say. I'm just saying, why make it a thing? Why can't we just make it a scene? You see what I'm saying? Look, people get consent, and I'm trying to not sound like a dirty old man. I'm just saying there is a monetary opportunity here, if you want to be frank. There definitely is a monetary opportunity here. Maybe not so much anymore because Katy Perry is a little older now. But 20 years ago, most likely, that could have happened as well. Now, I'm not sure how old Ruby Rose is. I don't know. But Katy Perry getting the SA charges, or not charges, allegations, 20 years later is really interesting. But the way that it came out is even more interesting to me. Ruby Rose was on somebody's podcast and just kind of said it like nonchalantly. And yeah, man, even Katy Perry like fondled me or whatever, and just kind of threw it out there. And I guess whoever was interviewing didn't really dig into it at all. They just kind of kept it moving. But once it was out there, it was out there. So now everybody's talking about it as if there's an actual allegation. So she said, Katy Perry assaulted me at a Spice Market nightclub in Melbourne. Who gives a S what she thinks, right? So her saying that is just that. So they created a whole story about these allegations, but there's not even no charges. Like the police haven't been notified. There's no investigation going on. There is nothing. She said some goofy shit in a podcast and everybody jumped on it. So you know what? This story is some absolute garbage. But if y'all are thinking of collaborating, I'm just saying there is some money there. If you would like to make it, just make it happen. That's all I'm going to say. Make it happen. Okay. What else we got? Did y'all hit the damn like? I got to check. Did y'all hit the like? Because y'all get pulled into the show. I know what happens. I get it. You get pulled into the topics. You get all involved. And next thing you know, you forget to push the like button. All right. So let's see what we got next here. Oh. All right. See, I'm gonna preempt this next one. Britney Spears has been the subject of some attention for the last number of months, at least on this show. And I'll tell you why. Britney Spears has been on Instagram with these weird kind of, I wouldn't call them cryptic, but these weird dance routines that she does. And she looks like, a hostage crying out for help. And I kept noticing that. And I said, somebody needs to check on Britney. I feel like Britney's having I want to call it like a midlife crisis. Like she's She's not hot like she used to be. And I don't mean just hot in terms of what she looks like, because she still looks pretty good, honestly. But she's not popping. Like, nobody's really paying to see Britney Spears perform right now. Like, if there's a Britney Spears concert, I'm sure somebody will pay to go. But I'm just saying, she's not hot like she was. So, having been on the top like she used to be, way up top, I'm talking nobody could touch her at one point. And now you're kind of like, sort of a has-been. I can imagine that's tough for her to deal with. And I don't think she's dealing with it very correctly, because she recently got pulled over again for DUI. Okay? So, in the wake of that, she has decided to step away from everything. So we're going to go over the story. Make sure I got the story ready here. I mean, I know you guys are sad. I know it's rough. Britney Spears is going to have to step away, but I think we're going to be okay. I think we'll be fine. All right. Where's the damn link? Oh, there it is. Is it this one? Okay, yeah, we're going to do both. We're going to do both. Hold on a second here. Let me bring it up. While I'm doing that, hit the like button. Stop playing.
Let's talk about Britney Spears.
Yeah, let's talk about Britney Spears. So before I show you the news story about Britney Spears, I got to show you one of them videos I was talking about, because a lot of people weren't seeing it. And I hate to say it, she was kind of hot in the video, like kind of hot looking, sort of trashy though. Really, if you like them trashy, she was definitely giving trashy, but she didn't look too bad for a lady who is, what is she, 40 something? She's late 40s. I don't know. She's like 40 something. Britney Spears is 40 something, and for her to look like this is impressive. I'll be honest. Let's see what she does here. See, look at her face right here. This is what I'm saying. This is why I've been asking people, has anybody been by to check on Brit? Because she's been doing these weird scenes, like this one, in the house. Probably nobody over there, nobody stopping by to say hello. She looked real crazy. And y'all told me I was tripping when I asked about it. Y'all told me I was tripping. Now do you think I'm tripping? All right, so anyway, we got Britney Spears here.
Let's talk about Britney Spears, who voluntarily checked herself into a treatment facility just weeks after she was arrested for a suspected DUI. In fact, a representative for the pop star did not provide any details on why Spears is seeking treatment.
But last month, a rep did call her arrest inexcusable, saying, quote, "Hopefully, this can be the first step in long overdue change that needs to occur in Britney's life." NBC News entertainment correspondent Chloe Moss following all of it for us. So, Chloe, this comes just before Spears is actually due in court, right, for that DUI arrest. What do we know?
Well, first of all, the fact that she is voluntarily checking herself into rehab, we know that when she has this arraignment or first appearance on May 4th, the judge is going to be factoring this into whatever decision he's ultimately going to make. And it certainly does look good for Britney Spears to go and seek treatment after she was driving erratically, according to the California Highway Patrol that NBC News spoke to at the time, high speeds. Again, she wasn't charged, but like you said, she was arrested under suspicion of a DUI. And, fans of Britney Spears.
Y'all hear that bullshit? So she wasn't even charged with anything. Why? Because she's Britney Spears. So she was probably, she was tore up. Yeah, she was driving erratically. Yeah, she was doing all of that. But guess what? They never even charged her with it. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Some of them,
They're
not
just
all,
going to admit the shit,
feel
too.
like
They
her
don't even
posts on
try to
social
hide it
media
no
can
more.
be concerning at times. Her dancing, captions that are nonsensical sometimes, posting things and then deleting them. But she's also had a lot of successes over the last several years. She had a best-selling memoir. It's being turned into a movie at Universal, which is part of our parent company here. She also recently sold her music catalog for reportedly a lot of money. And she's reunited with her 2 sons after years of estrangement. So there are a lot of positives in Britney's life, but fans are worried about her.
I smiled when I saw that photo of her with her sons. That was sort of a beautiful full circle moment. You actually spoke to her ex, though, Kevin Federline, recently about this arrest. What did he say?
Not that ex, the other ex, Sam Ashgari, her ex-husband. So when I was at the Oscars Elton John party, I saw him.
Forgot about the other guy. Everybody knew Federline because Federline ended up getting custody of the kids, and he got like spousal support and some alimony and shit. It was a win. He came in there. She was the superstar. He was, Mr. Mom, so to speak. And he took them kids. That was messed up. And she ain't been right ever since. I'll be honest with you. I believe that was when Britney started just going off the side. Was once she lost her kids and broke up with Kevin Federline. I remember that shit. It was sad.
Morgan out of the corner of my eye. And I said to our camera person, I said, that is Britney Spears' ex-husband. Let's talk to them. And I felt like he was kind of walking by and no one recognized him at their wedding. It was actually Elton John. So he's known Elton John a long time because of Britney's longtime relationship with Sir Elton John. I asked them, this was after the arrest. I said, are you worried for Britney? Take a listen.
Are you worried for Britney?
I'm absolutely not worried for someone that's a strong woman. She's gone through hell and back. She needs privacy from the press. You know, I know the press has a job to do, and they want to do that. But if we go back and learn from the past, the press did not help her.
He only had great things to say about her, which is also one of the reasons why I wanted to speak to him, because I have long covered Britney Spears and her conservatorship. I was in the courtroom for all of her conservatorship hearings in California. I did a documentary on her when I was at CNN, and I was there when she called in and emotionally spoke to the judge in the summer of 2021 and alleged years of abuse under this conservatorship. And then about 5 months later, she was freed, and there was the Free Britney movement. And so Sam is not there trying to, gain his 15 minutes of fame from that marriage. He's already well known. He's sitting there telling me, she's a strong woman. She's been through a heck of a lot. And I know that with the right people around her, she will be okay. And that is what the statement from her team says. So hopefully, you guys, Britney is going to work on herself. She has a lot of good things going on in her life. And hopefully this will be a good moment for her. And the judge won't throw the book at her on May 4th.
We hope she gets.
Okay. All right. I will say this. If Britney Spears really gets herself together, I'm not even mad about that. Not at all. Not at all. And it says a lot. It says a lot to be in the rehab program without being forced to go there. But a lot of people know that does bode well with the judge. So if you do certain things between when something happens and when you go to court, and I'm like, what is she going to court for if she wasn't charged with anything? Oh, no. They just said she didn't catch the charges. What is she going to court for? You see what I'm saying? So now I got a whole different set of questions. They said she's going to court, but they also said she didn't get any charges. So which one is true? What is true is this is goofy to me. And the other guy talking about leave Britney alone is pretty much what he said. Is true. The press can get on people's nerves. They hiding in bushes and all types of stuff, driving that woman crazy. But if we want to be honest, she putting herself out there by doing all them weird-ass videos. And as long as she keeps doing them weird-ass videos, the press is going to be interested in her to some degree, even if it's wondering what is wrong with her. So she's bringing that upon herself. So he can be honest about that. He wasn't honest about that. You're not being honest when you don't act like, it's not like she's trying to hide out from the press and she's, doing that. No, she's literally on Instagram every day doing something weird. So, of course, they're going to be interested in finding out the story. So he can shut the hell up. That sounds like some dumb shit to me. But hopefully Britney gets better. I'm hoping that we get a little extra Britney time. Maybe she goes and does a little Las Vegas thing or, something like that. Some, oldies but goodies kind of Britney Spears-y thing. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't see it. I know that sounds harsh. I don't see it. I don't see Britney being able to get it all the way together because every time she comes out, they throw shit at her. You know what I'm saying? It's like she's always got something wrong. Somebody's always complaining about something she's doing. She's not going to be good enough for these people. I'm telling you. And it's going to always affect her. She's never going to be this Britney in this picture again. She's just going to keep getting older. And she's going to end up really wrinkly, and some parts of her body are going to still be perky while others start to sag. And she's going to get worse. So I really think they need to get her more real help, but some of the help that they give it's really limited to your resources. It's very hard for people to quit stuff when they can do it, when they can afford it. So if she's on pills and all this kind of stuff, and she can get pills and stuff all day, every day, it's hard as hell to get off of it. So I'm hoping that she's able to. I really am. I would hope for the best for Britney Spears, because honestly, she has given us some good times. She's given us some good shows, and she made some of the young ladies feel good, and she gave some really good music. I would want nothing more than for her latter portion of her life, for her to be clean, sober, enjoying her time with her family and her friends. So I'm hoping for that for her. But like I said, the way that they covered that story was, of course, some bullshit. So I got to move on. I hate when they do that. I hate when they do that. All right, so let's keep going. Since we're talking about some wild shit. All right. Hey guys, did you know that there was yet another congressperson charged with sexual allegations? Were you aware? Let me tell y'all what. I know we talk that shit about Trump. We definitely talk that shit about Trump and Epstein and things like that. But I don't think it should go without being said that we have a whole entire Congress full of pedophiles. Like, not pedophiles, sexual deviants, dick deviants, big dick dangerous deviants in that place. And most of them have been that and still get elected. It's almost like if nobody, because nobody's saying nothing. So then all of a sudden they're among a jury of their peers, so to speak. They look around in House and Congress, and there's a bunch of these dudes in there. So let me tell you about this guy. So this is the thing, right? When you have a person, one individual person, make an allegation against you, it's, to a degree, it's your word versus theirs. You know what I'm saying? It's your word versus theirs. And so it's kind of like it comes down to, who do the people believe more? Do they believe you, or do they believe this accuser person? And this next story, they ended up with way more than one accuser. And I didn't even know this was going on. The guy said he was retiring, and then right behind it, we get this. So you got to hear this story. This is absolutely nuts. So nonetheless, let's hit it.
Welcome back. CBS News sat down for an exclusive interview with two women who say Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell sexually harassed them. They tell Nancy Cordes why they finally decided to go public. Now, Swalwell denies allegations of sexual misconduct, but he paused his campaign for governor on Sunday and then announced he will resign from Congress. Nancy Cordes.
All right, so wait a second now. Wait, I heard that right off the bat. I smelled that. All right, so he said the allegations are false, but he immediately dropped out the gubernatorial race and resigned from Congress. He didn't even put up a fight. Tell me you're guilty without telling me you're guilty. Like, you don't even put up a fight. You done worked your whole life to become a politician, and you just going to quit without even putting up a legal battle or something just as soon as you heard this. So you know what that means? That means he did it. That's it. He did that shit.
Then announced he will resign from Congress.
He did that
Nancy
shit.
Cordes joins us now from Washington. This is so shocking to so many people. Nancy, good morning.
Yeah, and I think it was shocking for these women to find themselves in the middle of this. This was the first time that they have been willing to go on camera to tell their stories. They said it was not an easy decision, but that by coming forward, they were shocked to discover how many women had stories that sounded just like theirs.
I didn't tell anybody for years.
What happened?
Out of fear.
What were you afraid of?
Well, at first I thought I was all alone.
Annika Albrecht was still in college when she says she got what she thought was a big break. California Congressman Eric Swalwell offering to stay in touch after meeting with her student group in Washington, D.C.
He offered to mentor me.
Wow.
That was as someone who knew virtually nothing about politics at the time, or no one. That was just an incredibly generous offer that I felt very lucky to have.
She says Swalwell created a group chat with all the students and then added her as a friend on the messaging app Snapchat.
And so I asked the other people that were in the meeting, did he...
All right, right there. That was your first red flag. When he starts adding you on Snapchat, it's about to get grimy. Not saying it is her fault. I'm just saying right when that happened, that was when you crossed into the dark side, as they would say. That's when you crossed into the bullshit. It was already interesting when they had you in a group chat, but that's everybody. Everybody could see that. Snapchat is different. That became personal. That was when you had to step back. You weren't able to, for whatever reason. You're probably having fun. You were young. But ladies, listen to this story. She's telling you how she got pulled in, how she kind of got groomed into a situation.
Add them. And they said no.
Were they all men?
Yes. I was the only woman in the meeting.
She says Swalwell, who was then in his late 30s, started out talking politics, but his messages soon turned flirtatious.
See?
Ultimately, it reached a point where he invited me to a hotel to meet him. It was very clear what the connotation was. At that point, I completely stopped responding. What I keep thinking back to is how lucky I am that I didn't go to that hotel.
Alisa Marco says she had a similar experience in 2021. She sent Swalwell a supportive message on Twitter, and to her surprise, he messaged right back.
I was so excited. I was a low-level staffer who had no real political background.
Well, hold on now.
He was this established figure in Democratic politics.
They began to text, but she says he soon asked if she too was on Snapchat, where messages...
This Negro in Snapchat. His problem with Snapchat. He can't have Snapchat. Take his fucking phone.
And photos automatically get deleted after they're viewed.
How did the tenor of his conversation change?
It started out as professional and platonic, and then slowly they became more and more explicit, asking me what I was wearing. Then one night he was on a trip and he was laying in his hotel room bed, and then he sent me a photo of his penis.
So Marco showed us text messages she sent to friends at the time about Swalwell's alleged advances. In one, she wrote, "He's snapping me right now, asking when he can see me." But beyond that, both women said little for years as they built careers as Democratic campaign strategists.
I was terrified that if I spoke out against him, then people would think that...
Well, wait a second now. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Before we go any further here, it should be noted that nobody said that he did anything. He was talking shit, according to what they've said so far. I'm not saying he doesn't have certain allegations and that kind of stuff, but some people be flirting too much. Some people say a little too much. Some people be a little too forward. Like, there's some dudes that'll say to a woman, "Yo, I want to eat your butt," or something like that. And depending on who the woman is and how she responds to it, it could be looked at as an assault. So based on the stories that they have presented, it was all about text messaging. They did get invited to a hotel, but according to them, they didn't go. So why did he quit his job? Because he was flirting over text? Well, maybe the dick pic he sent was embarrassing. That's pretty bad. There's a woman running around talking about, "I got the governor's dick in my phone." So, yeah, you shouldn't do that. Once you become a political figure, don't send dick pics. Tell them if they want to see it, they got to come see it for real. Okay? Jesus.
Couldn't be trusted, that maybe I'm making it up.
That was until Swalwell decided to run for governor of California.
I'm Eric Swalwell, and it's this simple.
And they said, oh, hell no.
The idea that this man who has already abused his power would be given even more power and could potentially harm even more women made my whole body sick.
So 2 weeks ago, Albrecht reached out to her good friend Cheyenne Hunt, a Democratic content creator, and asked her to post a video about the rumors that have dogged Swalwell for years.
The Democratic candidate currently leading in the California governor's race has a known history of being predatory towards women. I could never have guessed where it would lead us.
Where did it lead?
I was immediately slammed with DMs from other women who said, I have a story to tell. And that was when I realized that this was a lot bigger than I think any of us knew.
Swalwell has acknowledged what he called mistakes of judgment, but denied all allegations of sexual misconduct.
They have never happened, and I will fight them with everything that I have.
And yet on Sunday, he suspended his bid for governor, and yesterday announced his plan to resign from Congress.
Is that justice in your view? I think we just prevented another 30 to 40 years potentially of him harming people if he were to stay in Congress. Yeah. So in that sense, I think we have served justice for his future victims. That won't exist anymore.
We reached out to Swalwell for comment on these specific allegations multiple times, and we did not hear back.
Of course
but
not.
in videos, he has accused these women of somehow working with MAGA Republicans or even a rival campaign to drum up these allegations against him.
Okay. All right. Let's unpack and move back. All right. I got you guys here. Okay. So he's guilty of something. The stories that they told us, he was being inappropriate. He was, not enough to go to jail. You see what I'm saying? He was definitely inappropriate. He sent a dick pic. You can't. I'm not sure what the charge is for that. Lewd and lascivious conduct or whatever. But I don't think you go to jail for dick pics. I think you have to pay restitution or some shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's the only thing from these ladies that I heard that was, I'm not going to say that was inappropriate. There was plenty of inappropriate. But I'm trying to figure out, when they made the story big, they made it seem like he inappropriately put his balls on somebody or, was grabbing some lady by the cooch or something. You know what I'm saying? That's what they made it seem like. I thought it was that. He's dumb as shit on Snapchat, wilding out because people, and here's the other question. Why are you on Snapchat, ma'am? Why do you have Snapchat? I mean, you want to jump on him about him having Snapchat? Let's have some questions and answers. Why are any of y'all on Snapchat? What are you doing on Snapchat? Why does he think that, So I'm not saying that he's right for doing what he did. What I am saying is he got the idea to say certain things to you from something. Maybe it was the way you smiled at him. Maybe he did get mixed signals. Maybe he took it wrong. Or maybe you were posting thirst traps on Snapchat. Maybe. You never said whether or not you sent him anything. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not victim blaming. I'm not. I'm just saying they made the story bigger than what these ladies were able to give us. Meanwhile, the whole Epstein thing, which is way deeper than this, they covering that up. And can't nobody talk about it. But they want to talk about this guy. Now, I'm not defending the guy in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying it's on to the next one. Forget the Epstein situation and the island and underage girls and all. No, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about this guy who was being inappropriate on Snapchat by sending penis pictures. Man, that's some bullshit. I'm done with that. I don't want to hear that story. Ridiculous. Either you're going to charge them or you're not. They don't even have no charges on them. You see what I'm saying? They're just talking shit about them. They're just talking about them. That's what they're doing. We're just talking about them because we don't want them to win the gubernatorial race, but we can't press no charges on them. We can't do anything about it. It's very annoying to me. We know who these people are. We see them. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are telling us who they are. And in the same legal system that we're supposed to trust is telling us that we can't do anything about these people. Meanwhile, there's people going to jail for far less shit. There's people that have records for the rest of their life for far less shit. Meanwhile, these people get to go around and do whatever the hell they want to do. It's a sense of entitlement that we just can't get around. And if we don't actually address it by following up, by pressing these charges, these people will continue to do what the hell they were already doing. That's the whole point. And that's why I'm saying this is some bullshit. It's some bullshit. Because even though these women have these stories, what are they going to do? They can't do nothing. He was just talking shit on Snapchat. So being a weirdo is not against the law. Now, if he promised you something, if you did something, like if he promised you a certain job, if you gave him some head and something like that, then you might be able to work with that through EEOC or some shit. But it's not a federal charge, and he's not going to go to jail for it. So that's a waste of time. That's a waste of time. That guy's going to be fine. That guy's going to be fine. And how's he going to get fired? He quit. He quit. Now, I don't believe that the same retirement benefits go when they quit from Congress. I know that if you just are in Congress, you get, for the rest of your life, you get a check. But if you quit Congress, I don't think you get that check. I think you only get it for a limited time, like 6 months or some shit like that. But you're still going to be all right. So that guy's going to be all right. And he dropped out of some shit. You know why? Because he doesn't want to have them try to R. Kelly his ass later. Whatever he's going to be dealing with, he's going to deal with it in private, and y'all are never going to hear nothing else about it because he's not going to be big news because he's no longer part of Congress and he's no longer running for governor. So guess what? He's going to get to deal with that on his private terms, probably going to pay a couple dollars, and he's going to call it a damn day. Okay? So we got to get to our last piece here because I told you I would cover it today. I told you we would talk about this today because it's important that we at least have an agreement and understanding of what is happening regarding the United States and its wonderful, illustrious president, Donald Julius Trump. Okay? DJ, I don't even know like a nice way to put what is going on this week. And it's only Tuesday. But basically, DJ decided to post himself as Jesus, as a healer. And I must take you guys through this because I couldn't believe it myself. Because even if you think you're a good person, like if you generally think you're a decent person, right? What makes you think you're as good as Jesus? Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, even if you're a nice guy. Now, I'm not saying that Trump's a nice guy. I'm just saying, even if he was like a really nice guy, sweet to everybody, gives back to the community, that person, why would he compare himself to Jesus? And if you don't believe me, I'll let you see it. I'll let y'all see it. All right, so Trump decides to compare himself to Jesus and post this AI picture of him as the Holy Messiah. And as you can imagine, people were pissed. People were pissed, and none more than the damn Pope. Even the Pope was pissed off. Now, you know what? The Pope's a nice guy. He's supposed to be with world peace and all that. If you piss off the Pope, you really doing something. And I will say this. I don't understand 99% of the shit that Donald Trump does. I don't. And I'll be honest with you. I don't. Some of it makes sense. Most of it does not. But this definitely did not make sense. And I didn't even have to question whether it made sense. Because nobody has the right to do that. You see what I'm saying? Nobody has the right to say that themselves are as good as and as blessed as Jesus Christ. And it all started because he had a faith leader in the dead White House comparing his ass to Jesus. And if you tell a narcissist that they're as good as damn Jesus, they will believe it. If you tell a narcissist they're like Jesus reincarnated, they're going to believe that shit. So that's what happened. Somebody told him he was like Jesus, and now he really thinks that shit. Now, I'm not really sure why Jesus is halting the Strait of Hormuz, because that's its own problem. But let's just be clear here. I'm not mad at Donald Trump directly. I'm mad at whoever told him he was Jesus. Because he got that dumb shit from somewhere, and now he's running with it. And so I think it was Paula White is his faith advisor. I blame her. This is her fault. You was in there saying a prayer. Nobody stepped up and said, hey, you can't compare Trump to Jesus because he's not Jesus. He's Trump. And when you think of, what Jesus represented and how Jesus was known to act and his mannerisms, or at least what they wrote down and told us about, you wouldn't picture a person like Trump. Okay? So you can't equate the two, because the strengths and the things that we cared most about from the original Jesus are not necessarily the strengths or the things that Donald Trump is good at. So it doesn't make sense. So, like I said, I blame Trump for doing it because he posted it, or at least that's what they say happened. But they keep telling this man he's like Jesus after they shot him in the ear and he survives that thing. They keep trying to make him seem like he's immortal. And I think he's starting to believe that shit. So much so that he's talking shit about the Pope. First of all, who gets to talk shit about the Pope? You know what I'm saying? Like the Cardinals and the Pope, they got their own situation going on. It's like a worldwide Catholic whole thing going on. They not worried about Donald Trump. That's what the Pope said. He said, I'm not worried about Trump. I'm here for peace. So, let's speak of peace. Let's speak about it. Because I need to know what's actually happening here. Let's get into it. Oh, this is the Pope. Right. All right, so apparently he called the Pope weak. This is Donald Trump, okay? So the Pope basically was talking about some world peace type of stuff. Donald Trump comes back and says the Pope is a weak man and he's soft on crime and he would have never been Pope unless Donald Trump endorsed him. All right, let's say this. First of all, the Pope and who gets picked as the Pope, I don't believe has anything to do with the United States president. It's its own thing. So I believe you're mistaken there, sir. I don't think that's why they got this particular Pope. You don't endorse the Pope. Not like our elections. Okay? Secondarily, you mentioned soft on crime. The Pope is not a law enforcement officer, okay? He's supposed to bless people, put crosses on their head, take communion, that whole kind of thing. He's not out here as law enforcement. So, of course, you would consider him to be soft on crime because he's not trying to beat people up. He's trying to bless. He's trying to forgive. He's the Pope. So far, the shit you're saying to try to insult the Pope is really what the Pope is supposed to be doing anyway. Doesn't make sense. Let's hear what the Pope had to say, though.
Did you think he said that you were terrible at foreign policy, you had fear of the Trump administration? I have no fear of either the Trump administration.
All right, you can't hear that shit.
Out loudly about the message of the gospel.
What I can hear is what is up with this man's lineup. What is up with this man? He got the straight over. It goes straight over like this. Sorry, I'm not making fun of the Pope, but I am making fun of his lineup. That's crazy. But he basically said he's not afraid of the Trump administration. And I'll be honest, I don't think the Trump administration is going to go as far as trying to like blow up the Pope. But what they have done more recently than that is lock down our Strait. And I got in trouble for saying something about the Strait of Hormuz the other day. Yeah, I did. I literally said something about, you know, how do you lock down something somewhere else, like somebody else's place? That's like if I lock down your house and said, hey, you don't get to come out and nobody gets to visit you. But that's your house. Didn't make sense to me. So I wanted to bring this other piece of this story to you because it's kind of funny, but let me bring it back full mass first so I can set it up correctly. Like, how you going to argue with the Pope? You see what I'm saying? The Pope is a decent guy. The Pope is a nice guy. Or at least he tries to be a nice guy, from what I've seen. I haven't seen him do anything in particular. Now, we all know the Catholic Church has a reputation about what happens with young boys in there, but we're not going that route right now. I'm just saying in terms of, you know, what the Pope is supposed to represent and do. It's not, you know, bombing countries and taking presidents hostage and shit like that. That's not what the Pope does. So I had to pause here because there's so much bullshit to purge. We have the president posting social media shit and arguing with the Pope. You can't make this shit up. You really can't. You really can't make this shit up. And speaking of things that you can't make up, apparently the president also ordered McDonald's on DoorDash to the White House. I know, that sounds crazy. Somebody says, why would you order McDonald's on DoorDash to the White House? Like you couldn't get the chef downstairs to cook up some shit? You had to order McDonald's to the White House? So, our illustrious president decided to DoorDash some damn McDonald's and then ends up answering questions about the Iranian situation with the DoorDasher in the shot. You can't, this is real. This is really real. This is really what happens. So let me bring this over to you because y'all have to see this shit. I couldn't believe it myself. I couldn't. Because I want the country to get back to a normalcy, right? But nothing seems normal anymore. Everything's like way out there. Everything's like, what? You crazy? Like that's how everything seems. So this one it didn't let me down at all. It didn't let me down at all. As soon as I heard the president got DoorDash to the White House, I just first of all was like, why would you get DoorDash to the White House? Then I found that it was McDonald's DoorDash. Let me tell you what, McDonald's fries, you got 5 minutes to eat them joints. And you're not going to make that DoorDash in 5 minutes. Not from the spot over to the White House. You got to get through security and shit. They got to put a mirror under your car. You're not getting fresh McDonald's. So let me show you what happened. So the DoorDash lady shows up, and then this dude got the press standing outside and decides to answer questions with this DoorDash lady beside him.
Mr. President, did you post that picture of yourself depicted as Jesus Christ?
Well, it wasn't depicted. It was me. I did post it. And
Yes, you did.
As a director of finance, I'm managing 15 and 20 contracts
you
a month.
bastards.
With Acrobat AI Assistant, I can summarize long contracts and identify.
I thought it was me as a doctor.
Building relationships is
They
at the heart
tripping.
of what I do. Adobe Acrobat AI Assistant helps save me time, but also build
And had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there. Which
As a director of
Oh my
finance,
God.
I'm managing 15 and 20 contracts a month. With Acrobat AI
Screw
Assistant,
you, Adobe.
support and
In real estate, everything is in the details.
I'm about to kill them.
AI assistant
They are driving me nuts with this shit.
manage contracts so I can keep all parties.
I'm sorry about the ads, guys. This was on somebody else's site.
As a director of
All right,
finance,
fuck
I'm
it,
managing
fuck it,
15
fuck
and
it.
20 contracts a
I'm
month.
not doing it.
With
I'm not
Acrobat
doing it.
AI Assistant, I can summarize long.
I had,
Yo, they just killed me with these damn ads. They just really did that.
I just heard about it. And
Building relationships is
Yo, fuck. You know what?
Adobe
Y'all get the
AI
point.
Assistant helps save me time, but
Y'all
also
get the
build
point.
trust with clients. Getting through the
Now I
contracts
can't
as
even
quickly
close
as
the damn thing. There we go. All right, y'all get the point. So, nonetheless, President took in an in-person delivery of McDonald's lunch and marked the most normal thing in the Trump world in the last 72 hours. That's not normal. DoorDash is new. And I don't recommend getting McDonald's on DoorDash. Because I'm going to tell you what, I used to do Uber Eats, and I'll eat your fucking fries. I'll find a way to get them through the tape, and you won't even know. Anyway, so while holding his bags of cheeseburgers, he kept the delivery driver at his side while she weighed in on his no tax on tips measure and addressed reporters. So this random lady, or at least they want us to believe she's random, rolls up on a DoorDash to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue as if she didn't recognize that address when she got the order, and drops off some McDonald's, and then ends up standing next to Trump so she can mention no tax on tips. The whole point was she was staged. Okay? Because when he asked her about this Iranian situation, she was like, I'm not here for that. I'm just here for the no tax on tips thing. I thought that was what we were here for. So this is her pulling up, getting him this DoorDash situation. And then, of course, he decides to hold her hostage and talk to the press. Okay, so a couple of things here. He better have compensated her, because if you're on DoorDash, if it was real, because I know it's not, this is staged. If it was real DoorDash, you lose time, you lose money. So if you stay here hanging out with the president, even if it's the president, you're going to lose your DoorDash money. And nobody's going to give you extra for hanging out with the president, unless it's the president. So maybe, just maybe, this woman was actually compensated. Maybe she got a good tip. Maybe something. I'm going to hold out hope that he did the right thing, that he didn't just stage this woman for some press thing so he could have somebody say how great no tax on tips is. Because meanwhile, no tax on tips is one thing. Let me tell you what else. Gas is still too damn high. Okay? Gas is still too damn high. Yes, it is. And because it's too high, I don't want to hear shit until I figure out what they're going to do about the gas being too high. Because let me tell you what happened today. Today was the first full day of the blockade on the Strait of Hormuz. Meanwhile, our president's taking in DoorDash McDonald's while that's going on. I would like to tell you guys what I found. And we're gonna get out of here on this because, as usual, I must purge the BS. So let me tell you about the Strait of Hormuz. If you've never seen it, right? Kind of a one-way in, one-way out situation. You can only go in one way, and it doesn't go all the way through to something else. So you got to come back out the same way. So in, you pick up, you come back out, right? They have different trade routes within the strait, where certain size ships can go and not go. I guess because of how shallow it is in certain places, and certain places not shallow. Okay, so there's these lines. These lines separate not only where the ships can go, but they also separate who owns the part of the water that this thing is going on in. And I found out that some of the water is owned by different people. So not all of it is being policed, is what I'm hearing. Only half of it is. So for the people that want to get around that, they just go around it. And I saw a literal maritime map from today watching ships just go around this blockade. So I'm inclined to believe that there's not this blockade situation is not what they made it cracked up to, or what it's cracked up to be. Whatever they're telling us is not 100% true. And I saw news in other countries. I heard China and them talking. There was a lot of people talking about, we didn't have any problems getting through. We don't know what y'all are talking about. So is the thing closed or is it not? I'm inclined to believe that it's only partially closed. And it's only closed in a certain part. And because of international waters and international law, they know how to get around that shit. So what that means is there hasn't been what they would call a supply disruption to the level of any prices having to go up right now. So why is your gas so expensive when nothing's actually happened yet? When nobody's actually been stopped? And even the ones that have been stopped would have been replenishing something that's already in existence. So why is your price higher? You tell me. That's because they straight jacking us. They've been taking our money. Let me tell you what. If you didn't know, recently they made some changes where government subsidies are being taken away from people. A lot of people lost SNAP benefits, health coverage, things like that through the government. As a result of this, especially with the SNAP benefits changes, all of a sudden the food got less expensive. The food got less expensive. Chips came down, sodas came down, all the stuff that you can't cover with food stamps came down. That used to be covered with food stamps, all of those new junk food rules and all of that, all the shit that you can't buy anymore with the food stamps, all of those products came down in price. Why couldn't they come down in price before? Because they straight jacking y'all. You want something, they're going to make you pay for it. And they're going to make you pay as much as they can possibly get you to pay for it. Sometimes that payment is monetary. Other times that payment is blood, sweat, and tears. But you're going to pay for this shit. And they don't care how long it takes you to pay for it. That's why they'll put you on a loan that has 30 to 50 years of you paying it every month. For 40, 50 years of your life. That's a crazy number to think about. But they got you setting up that way. I'm frustrated because I see them staging this old lady in this thing. Because like I said, there's no way you get a DoorDash order. You just randomly in the area DoorDashing, right? You get a joint in there, you go to McDonald's, and they give you the address, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. And you're not like, what? You sure this is the right address? So this was all staged. It was all staged to make Trump look like a regular guy that eats McDonald's. He probably took both of them bags and threw them directly in the trash once he took them inside the White House. And went and ate something that the chef made. Because they got a whole chef. So you want me to believe you instead of using the chef that probably gets paid $90,000 a month to be the damn chef there, you preferred McDonald's from DC. Get the fuck out of here. Seriously, man. I don't believe none of it no more. I'm over it. I'm over it. So let me get back to this Strait thing, right? Because this is the episode, Strait Jacket. So I went and checked to try to find out how serious this problem was when it came to this blockade. Come to find out, it wasn't that. It was like they said it wasn't. It was impartial, but it's partial. It's partial. There's a number of ships who talking about we didn't have no problems getting through there. I don't know what they're talking about. So I'm inclined to believe that that's what is actually happening because I've seen the maritime maps. I'm watching the little dots go through. I'm like, well, they don't seem to be having any problems at all. So are we trying to resolve this thing? I think we're not. I think we're about to talk about it and there's negotiations going on, and I think all of that is bullshit. I think all of that is bullshit. And they'll just keep the sting going as long as we take it. And as long as we keep paying more and more and higher gas prices and so on and so forth, they'll just keep the shit going. Because they know you're going to need gas. You need to go somewhere. You need to drive your car. It's a need. It's like oxygen. So what happens if they boost the gas price to $6? You're still going to pay $6 for the gas. You see what I'm saying? So this is not about to end to try to save your pockets. It's not. This is not about to end to try to save your pockets. This is going to end when we all say, all right, enough is enough. Enough is enough. Where's the reserves that we could use? Why do we have to get some? Have you seen the path that a tanker has to take from the Strait of Hormuz to America, to the United States of America? It is a long, dumbass trip. And all I can see in my brain is, don't we have something closer? Don't we have the same thing? And you know what? The U.S. does have oil, but we didn't get the proper material, no, not material, but machinery to refine it. So we can't even refine our own oil. That's why we got to get the shit from everywhere else. This is a whole stupid business plan. The whole thing is dumb. So when you have a dumb business plan, sometimes there's dumb responses and results that happen. And Trump is firing. He fires. The tariffs. I got tariffs. I'm putting 50% tariff. But he hasn't even talked to nobody about the shit. He'll just throw it out there. And a lot of the stuff, they'll find, oh, it's not constitutional. Oh, you can't do that after he's already said something. But what he did say was there was a blockade going on in the Strait of Hormuz by the Iranians. Then he said, as a response to that, to get them to open the Strait of Hormuz, we're going to close the Strait of Hormuz, which is crazy to me. But unfortunately, because I'm a little maniacal myself, I see the logic. Not saying it's a good thing, but I see the logic. Like, okay, well, if we can't get through, nobody gets through. That's kind of where he came from with that. And that's a pretty gangster move. Pretty gangster. Whether it's going to work or not, we'll see. So far, I don't believe it's working. I believe we keep stepping further into the marsh with this thing. And I think the U.S. needs to step back, let some other people handle that shit, and we work on our relations with closer oil refining options. Because like I said, if you see the path that a tanker has to take to get to the United States from that area, it just doesn't make sense. It's like there's nowhere else y'all could get some of this shit from. You got to go all the way around Africa and back up the other side. That shit is crazy. It's like worse than the slave trade. At least the slave trade was coming from the outside coastline of Africa. They on the inside, coming up around. It's stupid. So my whole question is, why did we put so much into a place that we didn't really have access to in the first place? That was stupid. So there's a lot of stupidity that happened here. And it happened before we got here. And a lot of people have to deal with it because we didn't start it. We just products of it. Our entire capitalistic system is a product of somebody else's earlier thinking. That's it and that's all. So the best thing we can do is navigate it. But the one thing we have to do is say enough of the bullshit. Don't pitch the goofiness to us. Don't pitch the DoorDash grandma lady as if this is random. I don't need you to do that because I already know it's not real, but stop proving that to me. Stop showing me it's not real. Stop showing me that you bullshitting. Stop showing me that you putting out this particular image to try to look good for this thing or that thing at whatever particular moment. Let me believe that you're doing the job that somebody elected you to do. You see what I'm saying? Every time you put out these ranting ass posts and all that kind of stuff and sound like a freaking high schooler, it reminds people that you're not doing the job that someone elected you to do. So it gives them ammunition to make fun of the people that elected you. And so they will never make that mistake again. So you are destroying yourself, you're destroying your legacy, and I don't care how many buildings you put up. You put a building up, guess what? The next person that's not one of your folks, they're going to tear that shit down like you did Black Lives Matter Plaza. So whatever you put up, it's not going to stay up. It's going to be built on a soft foundation because this entire administration's idea setup is on a soft foundation. And you're basically putting money into the pockets of not foreigners, American companies. Exxon and Mobil and all that shit, those are not Arabian companies, those are American companies. And if we're already paying more for a product that hasn't even been shipped yet, think about it, that shit hasn't even come over here yet. So why am I paying more for the gas that was already here? It's because you're jacking us. And you want to blame it on somebody else. Nope, y'all jacking us. And I'm not going to allow it to continue. Sorry. I'm sorry. I've allowed this to continue for too far. You can't keep jacking my people like this. Because we know better. We know what it is. And like I said, I heard one person say this awesome idea. It probably won't work because it's crazy. But what if everybody just didn't pay taxes one year? Just like everybody said, you know what, fuck filing taxes this year. It would crash the whole government. And I'm with that. Because we have paid a bunch of money to fund pedophiles and criminals and you name it. All types of people. We have funded some of the worst bullshit. We funded genocides, not knowing it. We funded sterilization programs, not knowing it. We funded programs for trans Ukrainian people and shit. Just so many things that we've put our money behind, and we didn't want it to go there. We would have rather it done something else. So maybe there is something to it. Because if we can't speak with the purse in the pocket, then we're not talking. We're not talking. And I get it. I get it. We don't have a lot of say-so, and we do the election and blah, blah, blah. Yes. But guys, if we don't at least identify that this is some bullshit, then we can't move forward so that we don't have additional bullshit continue. Right now, they want to impeach the president. And the reason why they want to impeach the president is because they think he's crazy. And unfortunately, if you look at the shit he puts on social media, he sounds crazy, especially for a president. So I can see why they're getting this idea. But whether or not they'll be able to do anything about it, I'm going to tell you right now, they can't. Because it would take far too long to do it. And by the time they would get a proper ruling, he'll already be done. So don't get your hopes set on Congress impeaching this president. Not happening. We're going to have to live through this shit together. We're going to have to get through this shit together. Because at the end of the day, we'll all still be living here. We'll all still be paying the same price for certain items. I don't pay one price when I go into the supermarket to buy meat. When I buy my meat, it's got a price on it. You pay the same price that I pay. There's no negotiation there. Now, I might have a coupon. That's different. If I got a coupon, then okay. But what I'm trying to say is, for those that understand my point, we are all on the same side here. We all know it's bullshit. Whether you are a Democrat, Republican, Indepublicrat, whatever your situation is, we all know it's bullshit. So, do not believe the hype that there is some Cold troll standing in the middle of the Strait of Hormuz and stopping ships from coming through. Ships are coming through just fine. They might be using a different route within the route, but they're actually coming through there okay. Nobody's gotten blown up. And obviously the U.S. has no problem blowing shit up. We've been blowing up ships on the way from Venezuela for months. Bow, bow, thousands of them. We've been blowing up stuff. So obviously, whatever's going on over there is not what they made you think it was. And they wanted us to be on DEFCON 3 because we thought that there was about to be a world war. It's not a world war. It's a capitalistic war. It's an oil war. The U.S. wants access to the resources that exist in that area unfettered. And because they won't give it to them, thus we have a war. Because Iran's saying the Strait's open. Trump and them said it wasn't. Iran said that they did not put mines in the water. Trump and them said there was mines in the water. Ain't nobody got blown up by a mine. So who's telling the truth? Y'all see it. Y'all see it. So I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. Y'all already know what it is. They're going to take something. They're going to take something. We got a whole country built on taking shit. We got a whole country built on people thinking it's okay to take shit because they feel like they're superior or they're more powerful than somebody else. And we literally attempt to stop that, and we get told we're the people in the wrong for trying to stop it, for not agreeing with what's happening. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's far more American people that agree that this is some goofy shit than there are people that agree that, oh, this is perfectly normal. This is exactly what we need right now. Not what we need right now. And whether or not we needed it at all is its own argument. But it's definitely not what we need right now. What we need right now is love, sweet love. No, I'm just playing. What we need right now is to get our wits about us and bring it back to the focus of America first, not America worse, because that's what we're having right now. And I don't know, could have been different with a different person, could have been worse with a different person, but we didn't get that. What we got is what we got right now. And so, like I said, similar to the police, you have to survive the encounter. But do not let all of this other stuff distract you from what is really going on down there, which is there are a bunch of dirty ass dogs sweeping stuff under the rug, mistreating the women that work there, some in Congress and outside of it, and we've already seen it enough times. And now they're going to try to sweep it under the rug again. They got another guy that just got ousted, and we are literally funding a freaking pedo party. Pedo and sexual assault party. And that's all of them down there. I don't care who you represent, because I represent none of them motherfuckers. Because they dirty on both sides. So why would I want to represent parties that I know are dirty on both sides? I'm not representing either one of them because they do dirty shit that I don't do. So I'm not going to let y'all represent me. I represent myself. I represent my family. Y'all dirty. And if y'all want to be dirty, I'm not even going to say that's fine. What I'm going to say is don't come around me. Because if I find out you're doing certain shit, I'll handle it myself. I don't need no process. I'll have an emotional moment, as they say. He was passionate. He wasn't angry. He was passionate. And I'll get real passionate on your ass. Because I don't believe that it is up to any of us to taint someone's life experience with our bullshit. So if you like a lust demon and you got to touch women's asses and all of that, you're just destroying the lives of the people that you're touching for the sake of your thing. And you're not even taking into consideration the type of trauma that you're handing out along the way. And people like that, that's the people I don't fuck with. They just be running around the world causing problems, causing destruction, causing drama, constantly just finding a reason to just create dramatic situations. that don't even need to be created for whatever reason. Things could be okay, and they still got to create drama. And we have an epidemic of those type of people. People who have to have drama to feel like they're alive. They got to be poked in order to bleed. And I'm telling you right now, they're dirty. They're all dirty. They're all dirty, and I'm not taking away from none of that no more. I told y'all a year or so ago, when everybody thought it was one thing or the other, I told you, no, they're all dirty. And I've seen it enough. I've seen this movie enough times to predict how it goes. They're all dirty. So when are you going to clean this thing up, guys? When are we going to clean it up? When are we going to become our own unified front that doesn't take no crap from nobody? Instead of sitting here constantly arguing with each other, we can basically agree, not just to disagree, but we can agree on what we agree on. Because the truth is, and I've heard it enough times to know it to be true, we agree on more than we disagree on. Half of the disagreements we have are fed to us. Shit that we wouldn't even be mad about if we weren't given it because we don't interact with it. So how can I be angry about something I don't see? You see what I'm saying? They give you things visually so you can be angry about those things. And you don't even live in the environment where those things are happening. But you're angry about it. And you got an opinion. And you on the internet. And you putting up posts and doing all this shit about a situation that you don't even have real information on. And you think you know something. You think you are fully informed. And they do this to you. It's a manipulation. So if we know that, if you understand that they're programming you, then you can avoid being programmed. You can see the programming, you can see the signs, you can navigate properly. If you don't understand programming, then you can be programmed. And then set forth to go do whatever the hell the program says to do. And I'm not that guy. I'm not. So let me bring this back over here, because I got to get out of here. Y'all got me into a long talk because I've watched these people online for the last couple of days wilding the hell out over stuff that has nothing to do with them. Nothing. They can't help it. They can't hurt it. All they can do is watch it. But they're allowing it to rent space in their brain. They're allowing it to affect how they handle their day-to-day life. All Trump and them going to do this, Trump and them going to... Well, what are you going to do today, right now? Where you at? You worrying about what the hell they doing 1,000 miles away that has nothing to do with you. What has something to do with us is pricing, energy, things like that. So we should remain concerned with those things, but we have no say-so in some of these other things. So we have to remain hopeful that they'll do the right thing. Okay? So don't be afraid. They are definitely straight jacking y'all, me included. Every month, certain bills, certain taxes, they've been jacking us for years. The question is, can we survive the encounter? A good question. So nonetheless, I got to get out of here. Let me give my shout outs to my folks. I see my folks came up in here. Donald Plump came through here. And look, I see there's about 60 people in the viewing right now. Make sure you guys hit the like. Make sure you guys stop back by for the Thursday show, which will be at 9:30 p.m. Thursday night. And make sure that you come in ready to have another conversation, because there's always some bullshit to purge, as y'all know. I mean, it's like no way around it. So, see who else we had in here. Sorry. So Purple Groovy. Let me give it to Purple Groovy real quick. I had to bring my sound effects up. I'm sorry. So shouts to Purple Groovy for stopping by, of course. And who else did we have in here? We had, of course, Donald J. Plump, Albon, We also had, of course, IAMZ, the wonderful, who stopped in. And so I'll give Purple Groovy a special shout for being the first one in the chat tonight. Thank you for that. Yes. Yep. Because you're worth it. Because you're worth it. So, guys, I have purged at least what I needed to get out of my system today, and I'm hoping that you were able to do the same. But if not, that's okay. We'll be back in 2 days to do this again. And hopefully between now and then, you can be a little bit more productive than you ever were before. But if you're not productive and you're just sitting on your ass not doing nothing, well, you know what? That, my friends, is the bullshit. And we out. Peace. We out.